Hello, welcome back to Be Real Reveal. We're on episode 3. It's Valentine's Day today, so this is our Valentine's special. So whether you're single or taken, this episode is for you, both men and women. So I got a few special things in today's episode, and the last episode of the week, before we begin Men's Mondays, Women's Wednesdays, and Funny Fridays. Yeah. We've also got an interesting topic of the day, too, which I think you're gonna love. I had a lot of fun writing that up, actually. I was discussing that with my friend. A friend of mine across from Canada was helping me write that up and give me a couple ideas. I kind of laughed my ass off, actually, at some of the stuff we were coming up with. So, big thank you to my friend Letty over in Canada for helping me come up with the idea for that one. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about first date ideas from my own experiences as well. Initiating intimacy and where to even start initiating that special, passionate moment that we all enjoy. And a serious note, more so for the ladies than the guys, avoiding being manipulated by either jealous exes or guys who just want to mess you around. And how to spot the signs and stay clear of being led on. I actually had the idea to write down about the manipulation side of things after I had a message. The show's first message from somebody who wrote in, wishing to remain anonymous, which is fine. I get they probably don't want to risk making any of their personal matters any worse, but I'll be reading out their question later on in the episode. First up, however, let's get straight into best first date ideas. So, with romance blooming in the air. Yeah, did you like what I did there, by the way? That little ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, that little drummy thing. I thought I'd just snazz it up a little bit between each kind of section, just to make it that little bit more interesting. So yeah, with romance blooming in the air, and let's say you're lucky to have snagged up a first date. Even luckier if it happens to fall on today of all days. You lucky people, you. And if you are actually one of those who happen to be out on a first date today, and please message the show. Let us know how it went. What did you do? Did it seem fun? Was the other half pleased or interested? Would you say it was more romantic, being on Valentine's Day specifically? Let me know. Write in the comments below or message the show on the Facebook page, link in the description. Now, when I've gone out on first dates before, I've usually always tried to think of the most romantic but yet socially engaging place that I could find. So somewhere that looks pleasing to the eye, but also kind of has that little area of intimacy where you can really get to know one another more. Now, when I say socially engaging, I mean where you're gonna be doing a lot of talking and having fun with each other, ideally, and maybe some form of activity that you both can find socially stimulating and enjoyable at the same time. Plus, something you can look back on later and talk about in like a reminiscence, you know? So you can kind of have a laugh about it. So, something like a nice quiet restaurant with an interesting menu. Let's say you went for like a restaurant Make sure you know what food she likes, by the way. This is the important part here. Make sure you know what food she likes. Nothing worse than going somewhere and you ordered a juicy fat man steak and she's just uncomfortably nibbling away on a plate of chips because there isn't anything on the menu that she likes. Now, this is why actually some places have menus outside. So before you even go in, she could take a look and you could both either agree to try it or find somewhere else. So guys, you better have a plan B lined up just in case. Because you want to be able to make sure you know exactly where you're going after in case she disagrees with the menu. Because remember, you're the one that's arranged the date. You've got to make sure it flows smoothly. So if she doesn't like the place, then you got to go, okay, cool. Well, there's this other place that's down the road or whatever. We'll go there instead. Okay, so make sure you've got a plan B just in case that one doesn't work out too good. Now, cinemas and movie theaters are good for usually second or third dates, ideally. Because in all honesty, you're just sat there for like a couple hours watching a movie, or unless it's like Marvel Avengers, Endgame, and you're there for 4 hours. But you're just sat there watching a movie. Yeah, sure, you might hold hands or share glances and laughs and stuff, but that's about it. So if you have to see a movie for your first date, then always throw an extra activity on top of that. So like a bar for a drink or two, or go for somewhere to eat after. And then you can sit and discuss the film. Never do it the other way around, by the way. Don't go for somewhere to eat and then watch a movie, because the idea is to have things socially engaging. So the best idea, if you're gonna see a movie, make sure you do something afterwards. Don't do the movie as your final thing. Do your movie first, okay? And then once you've seen your movie, you can go for something to eat or go for a drink and sit and discuss the movie. And you have that social engagement, which is really necessary to have that bond with your date. Theme parks in summer, they're a great idea. So if you're both coaster enthusiasts, it's a perfect way to first time date. But not so much if you want that close intimacy. Because there's a lot of people around, especially in the summer anyway. It's like really busy. You got families in there. It's jam-packed. There's long ride times, depending where you go, of course. So I always think that if you're looking for an intimate setting, theme parks aren't the best. But if you want to have a lot of fun and really do something, and you're both coaster enthusiasts, theme parks are great. Then go for it. If you're not worried too much about the intimate setting, then go for it. Go all out, enjoy yourselves, have fun, and really enjoy it. Because at least maybe on the next time you see your date, if you see them again, then you've got something really great to look back on and talk about. And you have ride pictures too, which is always kind of nice because, if things are going well, you can look back at it and go, that was a really cool day. I really like that. And you might want to talk about doing it again in the future. So it's great if that's the kind of thing you want. You just want that fun and huge social engagement, and go for it. But if you want that intimate setting, again, after the theme park, you might want to grab a drink or go for something to eat. It's entirely down to what you want to do, I guess, and how long you're out for. But if you really want an intimate setting, then the best way to get that intimate and quiet surrounding is usually going to have to be a bar. A quiet bar, or if you're outdoors maybe. Say you went outdoors, the weather's nice. Have a good old-fashioned picnic. Trust me, picnics still impress first dates. If the location is good and the food choices are right, then go for it. It's nice. You're looking at a beautiful area, or you're socializing, you're eating food, and you're intimate. You're within each of the sensual, intimate areas where you can touch, you can laugh. You could probably end up kissing. Depending on the location, you may even end up making out and making love. You never know. So, if you really want the intimate setting, that's your best kind of bet. bowling is one of my personal favorites because for me, I find that you've got that area of intimacy and proximity with your date. And what I mean by that is maybe they take their shot, okay? Now, it doesn't matter if they can bowl or not. You're not bowling for a competition. You're bowling to have fun. So it doesn't matter if they're good. If they choose to bowl with the bumpers up, let them bowl with the bumpers up. It doesn't matter. You're there to have fun. So don't be engaging in some serious competition where you're going to get peed off. So if you're a very competitive person, don't go bowling or don't do anything that's going to bring that competitive side unless you can really control it, okay? Because the important thing is to remember that you're there to have fun, not to compete. Okay? So bowling, I enjoy that. It's my personal favorite. But anyway, let's say they take the shot and, again, it doesn't matter if they can bowl or not. You still sound off encouragingly to them, right? So, I'd be like, oh, great shot, babe. Great shot. Well done. Great try. Nice. And if they do get a good shot, if they're not that good a player and they get a really surprising shot, act surprised with them. I mean, I'd naturally be surprised. I'm like, yeah, that was great. Awesome. High five. Well done, and maybe go and give them a hug or embrace them or like a high five. Or if you're a confident, cheeky guy like me, a slap on the ass with a nice little squeeze at the end. That always works, But it helps bring out the laughter and the playful competition between you both. And you start to find out how you both work, I guess. Another thing I like to do as well is if they struggle with like bowling, I'll come up behind them. Maybe I'll pick a ball out for them. I'll help them pick a ball and I'll actually help them out with it if there's something that they're not used to doing. Perhaps maybe they've actually always wanted to go bowling, wanted to know how to do it properly or wanted to be better at it. And if you could show them that, then great. You're doing something great that not only you both will come to enjoy, but you're actually making her feel that she's doing something and she's learning something new and she's having fun. And that's the key component for something like that, is that she's having fun. Because if she's gonna get stressed out with it and angry and irritated, frustrated and upset, then it's not a good choice. But if you're confident you can get her to have fun and she's up for doing it, then great. Otherwise, maybe try and think of something else that you could do. But what I like to do to get that proximity and that intimacy is I'll maybe stand behind her with the ball in her hand. Like get the old Fred Flintstone thing, where he like comes up behind Betty. I'm not seeing Fred Flintstones for a while, but he comes up behind his wife. And, he gets her on her toes and, like they twinkle down and then he helps her throw the ball in the air. So he stood behind her and that's the kind of proximity that I'm on about. You can put your hands on their waist and you can gauge that sensuality between the two of you. It's like a bonding moment. So something like that's good for intimacy. Okay, cool. Discuss during dates and after dates. So what I mean by that is you want to talk about how things are going during it and you want to ask them after it how it went for feedback. So make sure that during the date they're having a good time, they're having fun. Don't constantly ask them because you're going to appear like, oh crap, she hates this or whatever. She's going to think you're nervous. But check up how she's enjoying things so far. So you're out having a meal. It's like, so how's your food? Is it good? Or if you're say, I don't know, bowling, it's like, so how you coming along? You having fun so far? Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. It's good. Just check during whatever you're doing and see if they're having fun. Yeah. Okay. And then after date, discuss like the after date. So afterwards, like, so how was the bowling? Did you enjoy yourself? Or how was the movie? What did you think? Or how was the food? Okay. So you ask something during and then you ask something after and you get that little bit of feedback. And it's a good thing for you because you can kind of tell a little more about if she actually really enjoyed it and then you can work on something for the next date. Or if she didn't enjoy it that much, then you can think of something to do better next time if you're lucky to get a next time date, okay? I like to call these kind of things, by the way, there's two types of dates. Alright, there's two types of socializing for a date. There's one where you're actively socializing, and then there's one where you're post-activity socializing. So actively socializing is where you're talking during the date. So you're doing stuff and socializing. So like you're bowling, you're playing mini golf, or you're having a picnic, or you're enjoying a meal. Because obviously you gotta wait for your food to turn up anyway. So you're like talking to them before your food, and then maybe you're trying each other's food out, you know? Perhaps they got something on the plate that you've never had before, and they might offer that to you. So they might want to try something not yours. So you're actively socializing during the date. Post-activity socializing is where you start to talk after. So if you've gone to see a movie, you're talking about what happened after the movie. If you've been to a theme park, you're talking about your day after it. So post-activity socializing is where you're just talking about what you've done, and if you've both enjoyed it and stuff, and you're doing your bonding after whatever it is you went out to do. Like paintball, for another example. Because you can't exactly talk when you're shooting the crap out of each other, you know? Some of my first dates that I think worked really well was, I mentioned the bowling. That's always worked well for me, because the bowling has got that proximity, and that's always worked for me. It's always been fun. Because you get the little thing where you can make your name on the little computer. I'd always like make something funny up to put on there. I can't remember some of the names I used, but it was just little things to make her laugh. And that's my kind of date. I like to be funny. I like to make my dates laugh. I like to make them feel good and comfortable and smile and joke. And I want them to actually have a good time. So I don't want them just to enjoy whatever activity, but I want them to enjoy my presence as well and find me interesting, not just the activity that we're doing. So it's really important, guys, that the girl that you're with isn't just enjoying what you're doing, but she's enjoying your company as well. So laughter for me is something that I really like to employ, because it really brightens things up. It makes it much more fun, much more interesting, and you really can bond so much more better, okay? So bowling for me is one, as I said. I took a girl out bowling once, and that went really well. I obviously I didn't see her again, because stuff happened. But the date itself was good. It was really good. I took one girl ice skating, and that wasn't too bad. Now, she'd never actually done much ice skating before, but because I got her confident on the ice, I found I learned a few new things, and she found to learn new things as well, because she ended up skating really well, and she was enjoying it, and she was actually thankful to me afterwards. So that was another good one for me, because it was doing something, it was focusing on them, on building them up, on making them feel good, because she went away from that date learning a new skill, learning something new. She went in before not knowing much about how to ice skate. I mean, she told me that like the last time she went, she fell over and she got upset and she just left. But when I took her, I actually showed her, you know, the different ways to take your strides, to keep your balance, and she was having fun. And when she started to do it without holding onto my hand, she was actually really surprised at herself. And, you know, she had that excitement there. And she was really thankful to me for that as well, because I really built that confidence up in herself. So it worked wonders for me, taking her out and doing something like that with her. Because I had a lot of fun. And I felt good about myself too, knowing that I'd actually helped her to ice skate too. I helped her to ice skate, and I felt great about that. And we were doing a lot of talking too, so we were just skating around the ice, and we were like just holding each other's hands for a bit, and then I was kind of showing her how to speed up a little bit and check on her and stuff, make sure she's okay. And we'd laugh at other people falling over, and then maybe we'd take a break and we'd get something to eat, because they had a place to eat there. So you could keep your skates on, just kind of walk over on this rubber floor and grab a drink or something to eat and stuff. So I kind of enjoyed that. But again, even though the date was good, seeing her again after that, it wasn't that good. It didn't work, in terms of her as a person in the long run. Because even though she enjoyed herself and I enjoyed myself, there was just too much crap in the way to keep meeting. So everyday life got in the way of that. But I didn't mind, because I enjoyed myself and she enjoyed herself. So they were good for me. They were good first dates for me. And another one actually that went well for me was a first date with my daughter's mom, when I took her to the most expensive Italian restaurant I could find. And I must have blew like $200 in there, like 200 pounds. And, we had fun. We had a lot of fun. We were laughing. We were just pretending that we were like high society, posh people, nouveau riche and all that stuff. I was pretending I was like some made man Italian mafia guy throughout the whole dinner and stuff. And, I was making her laugh, and yeah, that's in the past, and she's elsewhere and whatever, and I wish her well, despite the fact that, stuff. But again, it's another example of one of my best first proper dates. So, yeah. And again, guys, let me know. If you've had first dates, message into the show, through the Facebook page and tell me, like, what did you do and how did it go? And did you see them again after? And you know, like, did you have more dates? Are you in a relationship now with this person? You know, let me know. I want to know these things. Or comment below. Comment below. Let me know what you think. What your idea of a first date would be. Even if it's something as simple as like going around in their place and just sitting there and watching a movie, you know? Which is ideal. I kind of like that too. I like the idea of being invited around to their home, or they're coming around to mine and we just sat watching a movie. You know, especially for us guys, I'm pretty sure that we like that too, because it means that if things are getting intimate, yeah, you know, I'll be getting to that place just very shortly. But let me know, guys, what you've enjoyed about your first dates. So message the show through the Facebook page, link in the description, or leave a comment below. So, moving on to the next section, which is initializing intimacy and where to start. Alright, I had another little fill there. You like that? That was kind of cool, huh? Alright, so initializing intimacy and where to start. Where do you even start when it comes to wanting to get jiggy with it with your date or partner? I'm sure there's a lot. This is mostly for the shy guys, okay? Or guys that haven't been in this position that much before. Because I know I go on a lot about confidence and being an alpha guy, an alpha male. But sometimes nerves get the best of us at times, and that's okay. It happens. It happens because we don't want to mess up. We don't want to look stupid. But the key word is confidence. The key word is confidence. And I'll get round to that later on. But where do you even start when it comes to wanting to get down to business with your date or your partner? You know, how do you know when the right time is to even make your first move? How to determine if they're even in the right mood? Now, these things are easily answered once you know what you're doing and you've started to develop more confidence within yourself. But it's all about setting mood and gauging successfully where you would need to make the first move. Again, it's all about the confidence factor to see an opportunity and take it. So, let's say you're both sat on the couch. Okay? Or bedroom. I mean, bedrooms are easier, but no, let's say for argument's sake you're sat on the couch. Right? You're watching a movie. Whether you're at their place or they're at yours. You're both sat next to each other. And now here's a way to initially tell if she is in a mood for intimacy. Okay? So if you take note to where she sits, you can sometimes tell what could happen. Does she sit at the far end and maybe gesture for you to sit next to her? Or if you sit next to her, does she mind or does she seem to scooch up? Or has she gone straight for the single armchair? Because if she's gone straight for the single armchair, then that's not a good sign. I mean, all you could probably do if she's done that is you can sit down and say, hey, well, why don't you come sit over here and see if she will. Or if she says something like, nah, I'm all good here. That's usually a pretty strong, definitive indicator she is not in the mood for any intimacy. At least maybe not in that particular moment. So, and that's okay. That's okay. Because you gotta remember, it's not the be all and end all. So if you're sat next to one another, however, watch what she does and how she is sat. Is she sat with her legs maybe at an angle on the couch, or is she kind of facing towards you? Or is she facing away? Does she come to cuddle you straight away? Or, what happens if you go to put an arm around her? Take note of these things first to kind of gauge whether or not you can take the next step. Now, let me just explain a little bit about what some of these different positions mean. So say if you sit down on say it's a 3-seater couch, for example. Now, if you're sat in the middle and she's on the left or the right hand side, alright? If she sat on the right hand side and you're in the middle, or whatever, it doesn't matter, right or left, either way. You're sat in the middle, she's on either side. If she puts her legs up so that she kind of curls her legs, and she's got her feet on the couch, if her feet are pointed towards you, and maybe she's resting her arm on the arm of the couch, and she just seems to look more at the movie than at you, it probably means that either one, she's just trying to get comfortable, and she's just trying to focus on the film, and she might not be in the mood for intimacy there and then. But because she's in a relaxed position on that couch, it means that she's at least comfortable with you. Because if she's not comfortable, most likely, subconsciously, she isn't going to lift her legs up to bring them near you. Maybe she will extend her legs and place them over you. Again, this means she might not be interested straight away in a bit of intimacy, but the fact that she's done that shows that she's comfortable. She's comfortable in that position with you. Maybe what you could do, if she's got her legs stretched out on yours, you could maybe give her a leg massage. So place your hands on hers and give them a gentle rub. And one technique you could do is just look over at her in the eyes and just massage her leg and give them a little squeeze and see what she does. When you get to the kneecap, see what she does when you squeeze a little. See how she appears. Does she move her legs or does she keep them there? If you move it up a little more, does she smile at you? Things like that you need to kind of look out for. The other position, I've noticed as well, if she's just sat facing away from you, so she's got the feet on the floor, her arm is kind of propped up against her chin or against her head or whatever, and her arms folded, and her feet are pointed away from you, that kind of means that she's not that comfortable. She just wants to watch the movie. She's not in an intimate mood at that time. And again, that's okay. She may come straight up to you and just cuddle you. So she might come up to you. The best one is if she comes and sits right next to you and she maybe puts her head on your shoulder and she throws an arm around you and wants to cuddle up. That's the great sign that she's totally comfortable with you and that she's really, really happy in your presence, okay? But another thing you could do to try and initiate that is put your arm around her. Put an arm around her and see if you can pull her in. If she happily comes towards you for that type of cuddle, then she's truly comfortable with you. And it's easier to initiate an intimate action from this point. The other one is maybe she might rest her head on your lap and near your crotch. And she might look up at you, or glancing towards the film. Again, this shows that she's comfortable, and there's a chance for that intimacy, because you could just rest your arm around her waist. Or you could, and then with your other hand, you could play with her hair. Girls like that. Play with their hair. They like that stuff too, okay? Now, if you're ready to take the next step, then here's what you do. Now, this is if she sat on one of those engaged positions. Okay? What I mean by the engaged position is if she sat in the confident kind of position that, she's comfortable. That's called an engaged position. Disengaged means she's not interested. She's not comfortable. Or she might be comfortable in her own way, but she's not comfortable enough for you to engage anything. So if that's the case, then this part isn't for you. But if she's in an engaged position, then this part's for you. Otherwise, risk doing it at your own peril. If she shrugs you off, just jokingly laugh it off, or make out you're playing around with her a little to poke her or tickle her or something. And don't worry about it. Now, if you have an arm around her, oh, by the way, tickling and poking is a good one to initiate stuff too. If you start tickling a little bit, if she's ticklish and you're poking, it's a great one to have a little bit of fun, and it gives a bonding moment too. So there's another one for you if you like to make girls laugh, okay? Especially if you have bad jokes. If you can make a girl tickle, if a girl's ticklish and you can do that, and she's in the mood with that, then that's another good sign. If she's not interested in being tickled, she's not in the mood, then just leave it well alone. So, now, let's say you got an arm around her, okay? Try looking her straight in the eyes, nice and relaxed. And if she stares back and smiles, and say you're stroking her hair maybe, slowly, but not too slowly, move your head towards hers. And if she's still staring in your eyes, it's a green light for go for the kiss. It's green light, go. And when you do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. Be confident and kiss her confidently. And when you do that, this is the make or break. Chances are, though, if she's staring at you like that, and she doesn't look away when you're staring at her, if she's staring for longer than, say, 7 seconds, chances are that she's attracted enough and interested in a kiss, okay? So, especially when you're moving that head toward a little bit, too. What I find that works as well to help that is if you're stroking the back of her head, like you're stroking her hair, or you got your hair in her hand, or maybe you got a hand on her shoulder, and you're stroking the top of her shoulder or something. That's another great sign, especially if you sat so close next to each other, too. Maybe you try the chin method. This one takes a lot of confidence, though, for this, okay? This doesn't always work, but if they're comfortable enough, you can try stroking underneath their chin, the side of their face. Take their chin and just kind of gently make them look at you and see if they look you in the eyes. And if they do, if she looks you in your eyes and you've got your thumb and your finger on her chin, chances are she might want to kiss you. But you have to do it with confidence and conviction. Confidence. It's the key. See the opportunity and take it. Move in and give her a kiss, man. Go in there and do it. Don't hesitate. And then just pull away and see if she kisses back. If she doesn't kiss you straight back, go in for another one anyway. And then you can try the rest of sensual contact points in terms of maybe hair pulling, thigh grabbing, and go from there. Because usually that might mean that it's gonna go all the way. But maybe it just means a little bit of foreplay and a little bit of more intimacy. Maybe she might say later on. And if so, respect that, and that's cool. And just continue doing what you're doing, watching your movie, and enjoying the fact that you can at least kiss and touch each other a little bit more sensually and a little bit more intimate. But never force it. Never push it. Don't push your look. If she says know when you're trying to advance the more sensual movements and the more intimate places. And she says no, then you have to respect that. Don't force it ever. Because that's just gonna make her uncomfortable and she's just gonna not respect you. So if she pulls away or doesn't seem interested, then it's okay to just sit back, continue with whatever was comfortable before, and just watch the damn movie. Okay? Awesome. And if it all goes well, you'll know, because you'll probably end up just either going up to the bedroom or doing it there and then. Depending on how kinky they are. I should know, because for me, a couple of examples from my personal experiences. I've had intimate moments with girls on a couch watching a movie, and I've done those things and it's worked. I've had the finger and the thumb on the chin looking at me as she's cuddled right up to me, my arm. Now, I'm right-handed, so I try to cuddle as much as I can with my right arm. I will always try and sit on a girl's right-hand side. I can't seem to sit on the left. I have to sit with my strong arm, my dominant arm, next to her. So I'll always sit with her in my right arm, where possible. But it's okay even if it's on the left, but I prefer for them to be on the right. And I'll do the thumb and the finger method on the chin maybe, when I feel it's the right moment. Or I'll just look at them and I'll move my head in and I'll kiss them. And it works. And it's the same with the thigh grabbing. You put your hand on the thigh. You start with the kneecap. When you move it to the movement specifically, I'm not going to go into tactics because everybody's different. And you guys aren't me. And whatever girl you're with might not like this and she might. So I'm just telling you what I've done. So take it with a pinch of salt. So I'm not going into tactics, but this is just what has worked for me. But when I've kissed certain girls and it's been intimate and it's been successfully intimate, I've placed a hand on their thigh. I'll give it a little squeeze. I've kind of moved toward the kneecap, like underneath the knee, and squeeze a little, and then back to on top of the thigh, and then kind of started to slowly move upwards, slowly. And once it gets to that point, usually my hand's pulling on their hair, and I may be kissing them on the neck and biting. And that's the green light go ahead for that hand to go straight to home base, and the rest is just kind of worked out for itself, okay? So that's just what's worked for me. So please guys, don't take that as gospel, okay? Alright. Now, I want to move on to something serious, and I want to try and speed this up because I use my phone's microphone to record this right now, until I get my new microphone next month, which will make things so much easier, because I got 10% battery. So I'm going to try and brush through this next part. And this is avoiding manipulation. Yeah, got those jingles in there. So avoiding manipulation. Well, as I said, I had somebody message the Facebook page about manipulation. Now, what happened is she messaged in, and she said that an ex-partner of hers, he has been pestering her and playing head games for months to try and weasel his way back in after he did some very unpleasant things to this girl. And with each time he's messaged her, he's been trying to get back into her good books and worming his way in and getting close to her just to use her and then leave again. And then he'll disappear for a while, and then he'll come back, and then he'll do the same thing. And because he's manipulating her, he's playing head games. And she wrote into the show to say that she's had enough of this, and she feels stupid. She said that she felt stupid in this message because she's allowed him to do this, but it's the last time. and she messaged the show because she asked if I could explain a little on this so it could prevent this from happening to other girls from ever getting into the position that she was in. So I want to thank you very much, anonymous user, even though I know your name, but I'm not going to tell it out here because you've asked to be anonymous. But I want to say thank you so much for bringing that idea, and I'm so sorry that you've had to go through what you've had to endure. This guy you told me about is a major douchebag, and I'm glad that now you've kind of realized just what a douchey person he is, and I hope that he isn't gonna bother you anymore. So thank you so much for messaging that in. I really appreciate that, and I hope that everything goes well for you in the future. Okay, so I'm gonna discuss on manipulation, avoiding manipulation from these douchebag guys or ex-boyfriends. So, first things first, how do you recognize the signs in a manipulative person? Well, usually from a male's behavior, they can tend to come off as desperate or clingy, or they'll send messages that don't add up. They might try to play head games, and maybe they got toxic traits about them. So, maybe they might be off with you, standoffish, and have a bad attitude over messages. Because if you tell them no, they'll probably start to get all angsty about it and start blowing fuse, trying to make you feel bad or blackmail you, or they'll just play stupid with you until you feel like you have to give them what they want, to try and guilt trip you almost. So what do you do to avoid this? Well, if you recognize that a guy is trying to get to meet up with you and you're thinking that it's only for one thing, then you need to just simple and straightforward ignore this guy. If he is messaging your phone by a text, you block and delete his number. Or you change your number if you can. If it's through Facebook or if it's through Instagram or which other social media platform, just block them off. The sooner you do that, the less chances that these douchebag guys are gonna mess around with you, especially if they're an ex. Because there's a little phrase that I found, and I use it to myself, and that is, it doesn't matter how thirsty you might get, never, ever go back to drinking the poison that almost killed you. Okay? Never go back to the poison that almost killed you, because manipulative, douchebaggy exes are toxic. So don't go back to them. Don't give in. Don't let them pick up on these kind of signs. Be resilient. Try and be resilient so that they can't pick up on that. Because that's what they're gonna look for. They're gonna look for weaknesses. They're gonna look for vulnerabilities. And they're gonna play on those. So if you're putting on your Facebook, I'm having a bad night, and all of a sudden this guy starts messaging you or trying to get hold of you, he's only doing that and acting like he cares because he wants one thing. But how can you tell if they genuinely care? Because they're not just there whenever you're vulnerable. They're there for your good and your bad days. They're messaging you on the regular and they're wanting to know more about you. They're wanting to know you as a person. And if they're an ex that has truly learned their lesson, then they'll make more of an effort to be a better person, and they'll prove it, not just with words, but with actions. So you need to recognize these signs to avoid these manipulative douchebags. Because this is what they do. They will pick up on your insecurities and they will play off of them. They will play mind games. They will come off as desperate and needy and insecure. And to be honest, I hate these kind of guys because it makes us good guys look bad. And it's kind of hard for some of us because of their douchebaggy behavior. And here's a message for some of you guys. If you're listening and you've ever done that to a woman, you're a douchebag. Learn to treat women with a bit of respect and stop playing head games with them. If something's happened between you and a previous partner, there's no reason to get bitter with them. Move on and find somebody else that's right for you. But before you go along and mess with somebody else's head, take a good, long, hard look inside yourself first and clean yourself up. Because it's not fair to go around breaking girls' hearts because you have got issues and problems. It's not fair to put those problems on other people just to make you feel better. Because women deserve respect. Just like guys deserve respect. I'm sure there's manipulative girls out there that are just as bad, but this is from the perspective of a guy being manipulative to a girl because that is what has happened. This is for this anonymous guest that wrote into my show asking for my advice and my help. So this is what I'm doing. Guys, be nice to women. It's not hard. It's called respect. Use it. Be nice. That's all I gotta say. And if you can't be nice, then stay away. Stay away until you can be. Because the more you keep doing that, you are never, ever going to settle down with a nice girl. The more girls' hearts you break and the more of a douchebag you are, the more you're just gonna end up unhappy, miserable, and alone until you clean your act together. So there you go. That's all I gotta say about that. About manipulation. Just avoid it. Simple. So if you can look out for those types of behavior as soon as they start to show, then girls, just block them. Because a guy that won't manipulate you will genuinely want to know you for who you are. They'll want to see you, your personality, and everything there is about you. And you'll know when the right guy will come along. You'll know when to date the right guy. Because they'll prove it not just with words, but with actions too. Okay. So, moving on now to the final part of our show. You all know what it is. It's Topic of the Day. That's right, Topic of the Day. Now this is what I was discussing with my friend before. So my friend Letty in Canada, we were actually having a laugh and a joke about this. And wow, I'm excited with this one because this is actually pretty funny. And I'm really kind of feel bad that my phone battery is now on 8% because, I got so much to say on this. So I'm gonna get through it as quickly as I can before my phone decides to die off. Okay, so the way this started out was she was showing me these videos and when she was in work of this mop. And it's like a mop and brush balance challenge. She said it's something to do with like the moon's gravitational pull. Okay? I don't know how that works. But the moon's gravitational pull, according to my friend, makes a mop or a brush just stand upright. At its center of gravity. It stands upright and it doesn't fall over and it just stands there. Okay? Now, I'm not sure what this was, alright? I tried to do it and I couldn't get it to work very well. I was getting frustrated and I couldn't get my mop to stand upright. And I was like, well, is this some kind of a ruse to get guys to do housework? Like a challenge and like maybe it'll get them to mop the floor or sweep up. I don't know. That's what it felt like to me because it wasn't working for me. And instead, I ended up with a partially mopped floor and swept floor. And I just gave up in the end and I just threw the mop back in the bucket like, nope, screw this. It's dumb. All I have succeeded is doing housework. All I've succeeded in doing was mopping half of my floor. That's it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a wizard or something. It's like some Harry Potter type crap, I guess. And that's why I never got my Hogwarts letter. So that leads me to the actual topic of the day. What would you do if you got a Hogwarts letter? Yeah. We got any Harry Potter fans out there? I'm pretty sure we got a few. What would you do if you got a Hogwarts letter? Doesn't matter on your age. Doesn't matter. Well, I suppose if you were a kid again. What would you do if you got a Hogwarts letter? If it was a real thing, and you were a wizard or a witch, you found out you had magic powers, you know, would you see, how would you see your school years pan out? You know, what would you want to do? Who would you want to be? What house would you want to be in? What would your Patronus be? What would be your favorite lesson? You know, like, I think for me personally, if I had a Hogwarts letter when I was a kid saying that I got magic powers, I'm a wizard, you know, like a warlock or whatever, like the word warlock, I don't think I've ever heard that mentioned in Harry Potter. But I'd be like, I'd try to be the most epic, powerful wizard ever. I would want to be the most badass wizard there is. I want to be a warlock, like a heavy metal warlock. That'd be me, right? I'd be the baddest wizard ever, and I'd use my powers for like all kinds of stuff. I'd turn invisible if I'd finish school, I'd turn invisible and I'd just do a lot of perverted crap with that. Okay? I'm just joking. I'm not really gonna go invisible and stand there in girls' bathrooms or whatever, you know. I wouldn't do that. No. But if I had that letter, that'd be so cool. I'd love to go to Hogwarts on the train, the Flying Scotsman, and run in the middle of platform 9 3/4, which I'm sure you probably get drunk guys in London doing every time they go past the train station. Like, look at me, I'm Harry Potter, and they'll just break their nose running face first at a wall, you know. It's like it serves them right, you know. Well, I think my house as well. I know that the Sorting Hat does that for you, but I'd actually love to be, I think my choice would be between a Gryffindor, just cause that's where Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron is, but I choose between Gryffindor and Slytherin. Because Slytherins are kind of badasses too, right? They're like evil, but they're badass. And when I was a kid growing up watching this, there was some black-haired chick in Slytherin that, and in the books actually, turned out to be Draco Malfoy's girlfriend. And I thought she was kind of hot when I watched it. Was it like Katie Bell, I think her name was? I don't know, but she was kind of hot. And I was like, you know, I'd love to either be Slytherin or Gryffindor. Because, I mean, hey, if I could get a date with Hermione Granger at that age, I'd be like, bomb ass. I'd be like happy as anything. I'd probably try and cook up a love potion just to get her to fall in love with me or something, you know? Like, hey, Hermione, I'm like a super badass wizard. You want to date? But, again, what was I saying about alphas and omegas in my last episode? Harry Potter is an alpha. Well, he ended up becoming an alpha. But, someone like Ron, he's an omega. And Hermione, she's a high-value woman, high-class woman, or girl. So that's how I struggled to see that it was actually Ron that got with her and not Harry. Harry ended up getting with Ginny instead. So, but anyway, moving on. I probably would, like, use these powers and, I'd want to be in Gryffindor or Slytherin. One of the two. I can't say definitely Gryffindor and I can't say definitely Slytherin. Because Slytherin's associated with being evil. And I don't think I could tolerate going out my school years and being made out to be a bad guy when I'm not. So I think it would be a mix between the two. Because I'd love to be a Gryffindor, but I'd also like the coolness and sleekness of Slytherin house too. And plus I like snakes too. So, you know. And my Patronus as well. I think if I had to choose a Patronus, I'd have a wolf. Definitely a wolf or a bear. Something big and nasty that's gonna like tear people up. You know, you say like, expecto Patronum. You know, like, you know, you get like deers or rabbits or whatever popping out in the end, like these little tiny critters. Mine would be a wolf or a bear. I'd want mine to be a wolf or a bear. That'd be just so cool. Cause it could just come out like be like a dire wolf and it just like tear everybody to pieces. That'd be so awesome, you know. You just fly out like, make noises. I don't know if Patronuses make animal noises, actually. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. Do they make animal noises? I don't know. And favorite class. What would your favorite class be? I think mine would actually be Defense Against the Dark Arts. I'd love to be in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. For the simple reason of doing that Boggart and the Wardrobe challenge. That would be hilarious. Just to stand in front of this closet and go, ridiculous. Cause I don't even know what my fear is. I think I'd try and confuse the Boggart and say that I'm scared of totally hot swimwear models just to see one come out of the closet. That would be hilarious. Seeing this scantily clad, super smoking hot, fine ass girl come out of this closet, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm terrified of. I'm actually not even gonna use the counter on that. I'm just gonna leave it there. But, I don't know. I mean, some of them I'm afraid of. I don't know. I don't actually know what I'd be afraid of. I guess, I hate bees, I suppose. I hate bees and wasps. So if like I saw a huge bee or a wasp crawl out of that thing, then that'd kind of bother me. So yeah, I think bees are wasps. If I saw a huge bee or a huge wasp crawl out of there, then I think I'd probably be like wanting to use the counter spell on it or whatever it was. So yeah. And yeah, so Defense Against the Dark Arts to me. Or potions, maybe. Potions would be good. I'm not a very sporty person, so I don't think I'd do like the Quidditch thing. Like, I wouldn't want to play Quidditch and be the star Quidditch player because that's just not me. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's for me. I mean, I'd probably sit there and watch it maybe. But I don't think I could play it. I mean, I'd probably play it just to experience it and see what it's like. But I don't think I want to make a living out of that, you know? So, for me, it's definitely got to be Defense Against the Dark Arts or potions, just to make some cool potions, you know? I'd be trying to make all kinds of different potions, to be honest, if I could. So, yeah. And plus, Snape's cool. Snape's a cool guy. Oh, that part with Snape. That hit right in the feels. Always. Yeah, that was right in the feels. If you haven't seen Harry Potter or any of the Harry Potter films, I strongly recommend you go and watch them right after this podcast. Like, if you got time, watch them. They're great. They're really good. They're really good. But they get darker as they go on. I noticed that. They start off all happy, bright, and friendly, and then as they get older, it gets dark and mysterious and turns into something like out of DC, you know? It starts off all Marvel and happy, and then it turns into DC where it's dark and depressed and like, ugh. So, yeah, it's awesome. Awesome film. But, yeah, so you guys write in on the comments below and message into the page as well. I want to hear to read out for the next episode. What would you want to happen if you were in Hogwarts? So what would you want your Patronus to be? How could you see your school years panning out? What house would you want to be in? What would be your favorite class? Let me know in the comment section below or message in and give me your feedback. I want to know. So that brings me now to the end of today's episode. Yeah. So again, I want to say a big happy Valentine's Day to you all out there. To anybody that's listened to this today or anybody that's listened to this tomorrow or whenever you come across this. Either way, today is Valentine's Day at the time of recording, so a big happy Valentine's Day. I love each and every one of you, except you douchebag guys, of course, but hey, maybe you lack a little love, so yeah, whatever. Happy Valentine's Day to each and every single one of you. I hope you have an amazing day with your loved ones. And if you're not with anybody, then I still hope you have an amazing day because you still deserve love. You're all amazing human beings. And I love each and every one of you because that's what today is about. It's about love, even though love should be every day. But today's just one of those iconic days, I guess. I guess we all have reviews and stuff on Valentine's Day being just like this big commercial thing, but I haven't got time to go into like the political side of that and what have you and the consumerist side of things, but happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your day with whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for watching today. For being with me here in my first week of the new series of Be Real Reveal. And remember, as of Monday, we're gonna start up the new system of, Men's Mondays, Women's Wednesdays, and fun Fridays. So I really hope you guys will look forward to that just as much as I am looking forward to preparing that stuff for you. So please like and comment and share this podcast. If you found any of this helpful or entertaining, again, comment below. Get in touch with the Facebook page. Tell your friends, tell your family, share it around, and just have a great day. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And at some point, as things progress and more people become more involved, more interested, I'm gonna look at doing a live broadcast where you guys can interact with me live and you can ask your questions live and we can just have a fun time. So, I'm running out of battery power and I'm running out of time because that's the end of the show. Again, thank you guys for watching and have a great day. And until the next time, I'll say, as I always say, be real to reveal the real you inside. Thank you guys and bye-bye.